Hello, my name is Bob D. Hilster, and I am a Christian who happens to like science. Today's video is titled, Have You Ever Asked Why? I am making a series of videos for a meetup group that I started titled Christians Who Like Science. I've made two of them already. There's an introductory video at this link, and it tells a little bit about myself and why I'm doing this. The second video was on the first four words of the Bible, and you can find it at this link. But I'm going to start this video today doing a science experiment. I'm asking all viewers who have reached the age of reason, have you ever asked why? I'll give you a short time to think about that. Well, don't need much time, do you? Of course we all ask why. Everyone asks why. My children, when they were growing up, asked why all the time until you couldn't stand it anymore. I have to guess what your answers were here, but I think that all of you would say yes. I would get a 100% result every time, no matter what group I was asking, in what country I was asking, what political views the group might have, what type of society they live in. You would get a 100% answer every time. Is there a reason why we get 100%? Well, in science, 100% result every time is amazing. It doesn't happen that way very often. Medicines are approved when they are maybe 70 to 80% effective, and better watch out for the side effects. Even if they were close to 100 or at 100% effective, the lawyers say, well, but warn the pharmaceuticals, don't go there, don't say that. 100% could end up in a lawsuit. Engineers and scientists will do experiments that are at the limit of the equipment and hope to show some result based on statistical analysis. This is statistical analysis up here. When the engineers and scientists get 51%, they hope it's good enough. Irony here is that I am presently doing an experiment. It's on my dining room table. I had to rent a 6.5-digit voltmeter in order to get the accuracy I want, and it still may not be enough. And I'm hoping to get a result that would be statistically good enough to prove my point. Getting 100% is amazing. But the why question is different than the how. The why question is not a science question, unless you consider philosophy and religion science. Science often use the why question when they should use what, where, when, how, and who. Because why wants to know the reason or the purpose. When you ask why, you want to know the reason and the purpose of what you're asking about. If there is a reason, it was put there by someone. The universe or a machine cannot determine the reason or a purpose of your life or the universe or for any other aspect of our physical life. When you ask how was I born, that's a biological question. Why I was born is a philosophical question at its worst. It's a religious question at its best. And yes, I'm saying that last statement as a Christian because it does lead to the fact that ultimately you ask the final question. The final why question. When you ask why and you are looking for the reason you were born, that reason has to come from some intelligent being. not from a well-ordered machine like the universe. The why question, when pushed to the limit, leads to the final question, is there a God? And we keep on asking. 100% of the people who have reached the age of reason will ask, is there a God? And their answer is maybe no. An atheist says no, but even an atheist will ask again. He may be absolutely convinced, but in his mind, he's still saying, maybe. He has doubts about his decision. Many Christians say, yes, there is a God, but we have doubts too, and we keep asking. We keep on asking, is there a God? We all have doubts, but it seems like this question is built into our very being. So I go to the Bible, Genesis 2, verse 7, and I use the King James Version because that's what I grew up on, and it makes a point I'm trying to make. And that verse reads, and the Lord God formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. Breath of life. We became a physical being. We had bones, flesh, heart, lungs, eyes, ears, fingers, and toes. We became a physical being. And man became a living soul. We became a spiritual being. We, in fact, are both. We know we're physical. It's not as obvious that we're spiritual, but I'm using the question why. The fact that everyone, 100 of the people who are reached the age of reason, will ask the question why, tells me I am spiritual. And the Bible tells me as well, confirms what I find through the experiment. It's really an old question. I remember this when I was growing up. Why do different cultures, races, and countries have some form of religion or belief? It was generally an explanation for the existence of God and for the many religions that exist. The why experiment shows that this not only happens to different groups of people, but here's the main point for me and for you, each one of us. It's not only for groups of people, but to each one of us personally, because each one of us asks the question why. Each one of us comes up with our answer. Well, and as human beings, we now have needs. We have physical needs and we have spiritual needs. We need food, clothing, and shelter. And God created the universe, the galaxies, our solar system, and our Earth to provide a physical support for our physical bodies. God provides for us. And the Earth is in a unique place called the green belt around the sun. Interesting science fact that to find another planet for us to live on, it needs to be in a green belt and have an ecological system that supports our physical life. We also have spiritual needs because we are separated from God. We have sinned, but God has a plan. And it's that same King James Version of the Bible that tells us what God's plan is. And the why question, however, is a great opportunity to witness. When someone asks why the sky is blue, ask them if they want a scientific answer or the real reason, the reason why the sky is blue. Different question. I might cover that point sometime as to what makes the sky blue, which is science, versus why it's blue. So when your child asks, how was I born? A biology answer is appropriate. When your child asks, why was I born? Then you have the opportunity to witness, to tell him or her that they are here because God planned for you to be here. He loves you. and He is taking care of you. My name is Bob D. Hilster, and I am a Christian who happens to like science. Thank you for your attention.